I guess an idea I had, right? Like I
Yeah.
thought of something, and then people were like, "What's that about?"
Mm.
And so I'm able to kind of show and tell like what I can do, and it's like challenging yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you put a goal in place, and I'm more of a, I call it a chaotic entrepreneur, but it's probably just like I want to see what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah.
Because I really want to build data centers. Like that's
Okay.
what my like I'm a software engineer. I'm into IT and programming and development. That's what I do. My analytical side. Then I have a creative side where I'm an artist and I have all this like creative shit I got to put out. And I realize I work really well like collaborating with people.
Yeah.
So Song Lab was built out of like the need for collaboration. Um, so
Might sound
shit.
stupid. What is a data center?
Oh, a data center is a
Yeah.
place that every computer, everything connected to the internet, like goes to, and it serves whatever page or whatever information you want to retrieve. So like everything on your phone that's connected to the internet,
Yeah.
is hosted at the cloud, like a
Oh,
data
is it the
center.
thing like those servers and stuff?
Servers,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Servers. That's a data center.
Okay, that's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. What the hell?
Yeah, because for like true ownership and independence, like
Yeah.
we're gonna have to own our data. Like that's what it's gonna come down to. Like I'm gonna create a process for people to prove that they own the art they're creating, like their NFTs and shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just really zeros and ones on a computer somewhere, and who holds that computer because they really own the shit. Like,
that's interesting.
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
okay.
it's being
I like
hosted.
that.
It's being hosted
Yeah.
somewhere, served somewhere. So that's what I'm on, man. But I appreciate you joining us. So let me give you a quick rundown here. We are recording live,
Okay, I
but
assumed
it's
as much.
all like post edit and shit
okay.
too. So
Yeah.
keep it how it goes. You're doing well talking on the mic.
Oh yeah, of course.
Project, talk a little bit louder than
Yeah.
you normally would for the distance we're apart. And then let's see, this camera is just you. That camera is both of us. And then 6 is also another shot of you. So if you ever want to, look at the camera and say something serious,
Yeah, get
you know
real
what you're
intense into it.
He just did it right there.
Camera
right?
6. Got you, bro.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about NFTs, bro. Yo, you were talking about them. I don't know if you've been talking about NFTs all day, but I'm like, yo, I have questions.
I'll do my best.
Like my understanding of what an NFT is like it's a document proving you own this thing.
Yeah.
So like when you buy a house, you have whatever the shit is called where you buy a house, I don't know, like a title or whatever, that shows like, hey, I own this house, right? And I was watching this interview with, I forgot, Gary something, the crazy white dude who cusses all the time. And he was like,
Gary V?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
And he was talking about what an NFT is, and his example was like, you can take a picture in front of a mansion and say, I own this house. You can take a picture and post it, but you don't own that house until you actually have that documentation that shows you own it. So that's my understanding of what an NFT is. It's like the documentation showing you own that digital asset.
That's a very spot on.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool.
Only thing I maybe add to it is it's a unique item. So there's nothing else like that thing.
Okay.
And it proves that there's nothing else like that.
Okay.
And it allows for anyone else to check. So it doesn't put it in one location that owns it. Anyone can go look it up and say, hey, I see that Dante owns that.
Yeah.
You don't, it's like going into a bank and seeing how much money everyone has there.
Yeah.
Like it's just an open ledger. So that's the decentralized part about it.
Okay.
It's decentralized because everybody owns it. There's no central ownership to it. Yeah. So but that's spot on, man. A non-fungible token. That's what NFT is like.
Oh, okay.
Non-fungible just means nothing else like it. And token is, a value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, could multiple people own the same NFT? Let's say minting like a song or whatever. Like I heard an example of. So can only one person own that thing, or can multiple people own that thing? Do you own like a piece of it, or do you own your own version of it?
And when they're playing music, it's all good because the mics are like dynamic, so it's not going to pick up. So yes, you can do smart contracts.
Okay.
And in smart contracts, you can decide percentages and who gets what of what.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do a smart contract, and what that does is eliminates lawyers. You don't need lawyers looking up. Like you can go do the shit yourself.
Yeah.
with a smart contract, and it's going to hold up in the court of law because you can prove it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah.
With just creating art and sharing it and proving ownership.
I feel like it's kind of like I feel like it, like you're kind of saying, cuts out a bunch of middlemen and really makes the distribution of the art between the artist or whatever the asset is, between the asset creator and the person wanting to purchase it, like way more streamlined. It has to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's bananas.
That's
crazy.
It's giving people more autonomy over their art.
Yeah.
And just deciding who can get, like, once you own all your data, then you can't, like Facebook, you can't, what's it, the reshare or repost or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to credit the original person every time if you create something new, if someone's reposting it.
Yeah.
Because there'll be an algorithm to check, like, who created it. And they can refer back to that. So you're always going to get the value of whatever you put on the internet, whatever you put out in the world. So I like it that's going to level the playing field like that.
I feel like it gives that power back to that creator, that originator gives the power back to them.
Yeah, for sure. But man, shoot, welcome to Song Lab.
Hello, I feel welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, like, appreciate you coming here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do with music, where you're at with music, whether, you know, it's casual, professional, what you're into?
Yeah.
And social media is where people can find you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So my government is Dante. You can call me Dante. My stage name, however, is Rob Lucci. I feel like a dickhead. Can I curse? I don't know if I can curse.
Oh, you can curse. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to keep it to a minimum. I feel like an asshole. Curses immediately. I feel like, an asshole, like being like, call me by my stage name. Like, it just feels weird.
Yeah, I get that.
But I do go by Rob Lucci. If anyone's trying to look me up, like, I'm music front, that's what you would search. But my government is Dante, so please call me Dante.
Nice.
I'm from Alaska. I'm from Anchorage, Alaska. So, like, I think the biggest city there, I could be mistaken, but I think one of the bigger cities. Moved out here in January, drove from Seattle, and music wise, I've been making music since high school. It was horrible. It was not the best. And I don't think I started getting good until maybe, like, consistently good until maybe like 2 years ago. And then been doing it professionally 2 years, more on the back end front. So I started off as a producer and an A&R. I had a team. I would produce for them, mix, master, get shows ready, come up with ideas. I'm also a videographer and photographer, so we'd shoot, edit album covers, shoot videos, the whole works. And slowly just kind of was like, why can't I do this myself? And then had a bunch of people around me like, bro, why aren't you doing this yourself? You can also be an artist as well. Moved out here to really kind of isolate myself in a way, you know, and kind of see what an independent artist version of me can look like.
Yeah, that challenge, and you put yourself in position where you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to adjust. Figure it out.
It's weird. Like, I don't know, like being so, the word I always use is like insecure with my own music, which is weird. It's a weird thing. Like, you make this art and you're scared to show it, or you're scared to present it, or you're scared to like champion it. And that was like a really big challenge for me to like do that. I'm still like, I feel like if you go on dates or something, you go out with people and they're like, what do you do? And you're like, I'm a musician. They're like, red flags, red flags, red flags.
Yeah.
But being able to like own that and be like, I am a musician. Here's my art. Take it or leave it. And then going from there, really owning it at the end of the day. Because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of other art forms, people are confident in it. Like, you could be a painter and be like, here's my paintings, you know? You could be a director. Here's my movie I made. But there's this weird stigma with music where it's like, it's mine. I'm gonna keep it from me forever.
That's a fact, bro. It's I feel like we can change that though. I feel like some things can change during our lifetime.
Yeah.
Especially with like the age of like being a musician. Like, I remember when I turned 20, they were like, you're too old to do music. At 20.
That's
and I'm like 25. I'm like, I'm too old to do music. 30, too old to like. But I see my peers continuing to put out really great music.
Yeah,
everyone's still doing it. I'm still doing it. So I'm like, why were people talking like this? There's no age limit. There's no limit at all to like creativity. And so I think if you let people know at any point in your life that you feel like you got to like make a change on something or do something or chase a passion,
Yeah.
like I tell people, just go do it. Just go get to it.
Yeah.
Like you want to do it when you were 15, you're gonna want to do it when you're 50, you're gonna want to do it when you're 80. Like until you scratch that itch and go for that gusto, the passion or the want's gonna be there. So you gotta continue to push yourself and find out if it's a hobby or if it's a profession.
Yeah.
So to me, like I define that by like how much you're going to invest into it, whether it's your time, money. Like if you're not investing those resources into it, then it's more of a hobby to you.
Yeah.
And but if it's a profession, then you are investing something into it because the time or the money you could be using for that, you could be using that on other things, but you're gonna put into that to get an ROI, like to figure out what you're gonna get back on it. So it's a fascinating space. My question to you is like, what got you into making music? Like, do you have a creative family or did you just
oh man like, I don't know much about a creative family. I do have my mom. She's a nurse but can randomly draw her ass off. Like it is bananas. She'll come home and draw like crazy fairy tale stuff and like off the top of her head it's insane. I can't do that. I think I have like a disability in my arms where what's in my head can't be produced on paper. So it sucks. But for myself, I've always been in love with music specifically. I am a slut for creativity and like anything someone's good at, I'm like, yes. I love it. And music was one of those things where I just kind of was like, I love it. I love listening to it. I remember being young, walking around the house, and there was some like TV station. It was like in the 600s or something, or it was like Music Choice, the Music Choice TV station where it just played like R&B all day or hip hop all day. Listening to that literally all day, every day. Yeah. And then got my first little drum pad thing, started making beats with that, loved that, and then kind of just like snowballed into this thing where like once someone told me I could do it, I started like doing it a lot and like becoming like hyper fixated on it, trying to learn it the best that I could. And that's with the production side. And then like the rapping side for myself, once my friend Chase and my brother were like, you can like rap, bro. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And then they were like, no, just try rapping, bro. And I made a song. And like once they gave me that push, my friend Chase, he always tell me like, once I told you could rap and you started, like you never shut up. And I was like, that's facts. Like, like I'm a student first. Like I went to college. I've done the whole college thing. I'm like I said, I'm a teacher during the day. So like I know how to be a good student. I know how to study things very well. So if I want to do something, I'm gonna fixate on it and study it and learn how to be like proficient in it. Yeah. No, shout out, like congrats for one thing for going to school and finishing it. Because that is like, man, that's hard. It is. That's hard. A lot of people start and don't finish. Yeah. And you went through the whole process and got your degree. You got a bachelor's or master's? I got a bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Okay. Are you gonna get your master's too?
Hell no. No? Hell no.
You know what? That's what I was like, man. I was like, I'm not gonna get my master's. But then like I had like an academic itch and I was like, man.
That's kind of where I'm at now. That's kind of where I'm at now.
At least I'll know I'll be able to go teach wherever I want to teach at. Just like having that master's now.
I think it's the specifically, and it's gonna kind of be crazy, but like it's the environment of mechanical engineering that I don't like. Okay. I don't like the people in it and the type of environment that brings out of people and like that type of person that pursues those jobs. I just don't like being in that. Yeah. It's very like socially awkward. You're not allowed to have a personality. Like I remember walking into class and being like the only like black kid, but like I'm light skinned, but like the only brownish dude in class and everyone's like in like Carhartt cargo pants looking at me crazy. And I'm like, damn, maybe I don't belong in this classroom. And I don't want to be in a job where I'm like, I don't feel like I belong here because everyone is going to look at me different for the way I talk, the way I act, dress, so on and so forth. Yeah. So I don't know if I would ever go in for a master's for it.
Yeah, bro. So it does get better, man. Like you will meet people that are like very analytical on that edge of like lacking social and borderline Asperger's or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for sure, because they do thrive in working in that complex system of arithmetic and algorithms and numbers. And so, but as long as you're like true to yourself, like genuinely, like don't give a fuck. Like, hey, I'm gonna be me, and I'm a creative person, and I crack jokes, and I have a personality, and I'm black. Like then they'll have to adapt. Yeah, and that's what I've seen. Like, you know, I show up to corporate meetings with a do-rag on because like I peeped it out. She's wearing a beanie over there. You cool, her wearing a beanie. I'm wearing a do-rag.
That's a weird thing that like do-rags are seen as like it's just lazy. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's
association, but you got to break those associations. Because then once the meeting starts or where we're doing that room, they're like, oh, okay, he knows this thing, he knows business or whatever what's going on. So yeah, man, in case the bug itches you again, you know what I mean, just think about it.
I mean, I get it through teaching, man. Like teaching, that scratches it. Being in that environment, like I'm like, okay, I'm good. Yeah. I just think I don't have the passion to pursue anything engineering anymore.
Do a completely different.
I want to do business. Listen,
I did my bachelor's in psychology and my master's in information technology.
Interesting.
It's completely two different realms. Yeah. Because I started off in philosophy. So philosophy is my jam. I love learning about different cultures and their ethics and philosophies and esoteric information and opening the third eye chakra. We can go completely metaphysics. Yeah. I transitioned from that into psychology because I wanted to help people. I wanted to know, like, it seems like shit's kind of fucked up around here. What are we doing to fix it? That got me into like social work and shit like that. Okay. But that shit will wear you out. Like just doing social work, working with people that have different disabilities, that wore me out. Yeah. Some people can do it a lifetime. So I was like, I always had an inclination for technology. Let me go ahead and pivot to that 100%. And so I was like, let me just get a degree in IT management. That way it'll give me a little bit of a head start because you have to build up the experience. Yeah. So they'll hire someone that has a degree, a piece of paper. Because I really don't know shit. Yeah. Like if anyone out there is gonna go pursue a degree in something or pursue a job, like they are gonna help you learn the shit as well. Oh. Like there should be something in place to help you do your job. So it's okay to show up not knowing shit because they want the person with the experience or a person that's gonna want to learn. Like come learn the job. So shit, I don't even know why I was saying all that. That was a little random.
I have two questions off of what you were saying.
Oh shit, go ahead, hit it.
So the first thing was you were talking about you went to school for the metaphysical side of things and stuff. In terms of that, what is your stance on like manifestation and like energies universally and stuff? Like being a crystal bitch. Like, are you a crystal bitch or?
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what a crystal bitch is? You never heard of that? Like it's basically a white woman. With like crystal. You never ran into like a girl that's like, let me give you a pink crystal for your spirit. You never ran into that before?
Not white women.
Never. Oh man, no. They're running rampant right now, bro.
Bro, I was just telling my friend about like this these like yogi chicks coming out of nowhere that are like taking like the whole system of understanding your chakras.
Yeah. And are they gentrifying it?
I don't know. Something weird is happening with it.
Oh no!
Because it's like they take like the Eastern Hindu yoga, right? The way of life and flow of walk. I don't know. They take that and they add it to their spin on it, but it's very Britney, white girl, Valley type of shit with it. And then they also occasionally will try to get you a crystal. Like,
Listen, shout out. Listen, I'm not pooping on the Britneys, okay? I got my fair share of crystals at home.
Yeah.
So I guess my stance on it is I'm a big manifestation believer and like believer of like whatever energy you put out, I truly believe you get that back tenfold.
Yeah.
And I think the crystal wave, I think is just an outlet for those energies, you know? I believe that like people, whether or not I believe in all like the energetic properties and XYZ of the crystals or whatever, I do believe like people are just using that as an outlet. Okay, let me put this energy into this thing that I can fixate and like focus on, and then that energy will like manifest itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There is divination within almost everything.
Yeah.
are you familiar with divination?
I was just gonna agree and hopefully you explained, but I have no idea. I have no idea.
I'll explain. So divination is a tool that you use to understand what's going on around you, to understand the world. Divination can be astrology. Divination can be crystals. Divination can be language.
Yeah.
The words that you use that have certain etymology to them, like the root word of them really means this. You've been saying this actual word the whole time, but it changes over time culturally going to different regions. There's power in language.
Yeah.
So the divination of understanding like mathematics, like there's numerology.
Yeah.
Like people will take your birth date and some other time you're born and shit and tell you about yourself. Like I've seen it. It's pretty dope because I'm hella skeptical. I'm
Same.
I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Then every once in a while, someone will do some shit. I'm like, I don't know how they did that.
Yeah.
And I think, oh, okay, really, to me, divination is a type of science of just understanding the world, the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's those crystal ones. What they're doing is they're kind of playing with things that they may not understand, because you can put in the work to understand it. You know what you're doing. There is a little bit. I go back and forth. There is a little bit of a placebo to it. To me,
I think so.
Too, though.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, it's perception, so it works because it works for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you believe it, therefore you created the perception. So then that does go into manifestation, right? So you have the thoughts that you downloaded wherever they come from. Now you want to put those thoughts into fruition, into action, and you're using these tools at your exposure to create that, to execute that plan.
Yeah.
So it's wild. It's wild. I think sometimes like you came here today.
Yeah.
But I don't normally meet people from like the internet or online. But like I looked you up, like seems cool. Like I want to meet this person.
Crazy person. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there is an energy alignment that you'll sometimes take a risk, or you'll meet somebody.
Yeah.
You'll be vulnerable. Like I'm trying to shift the narrative on people giving a fuck, because it's so popular like not to give a fuck and express how much you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're saying how much you don't give a fuck, you're really saying that you give a fuck.
Yeah.
And it's just quite the opposite. And if we can share that to like, hey, you do care about that, but maybe you care in a different way, and this is how you express how you care, and change the mentalities of people.
Yeah.
With that way of thinking.
Yeah. And I to tie back to that energy and that manifestation thing, like when I tell you, bro, I even sent it in the text when we were chatting beforehand, like when I moved here, the first thing I wanted to do was find a podcast. Like, I love podcasts, bro. I've done so many. I love being on them. I love the energy. I love being able to sit down with someone, pick their brain, and have a conversation. And I've been texting my friends like, there's no podcasts out here. There's none. And then there's this rapper I was following, and then following you as well. And then I saw you post the thing about it, and then made the group, and I was like, oh shit, oh, it's happening. I gotta reach out. I gotta see what. And like the thing with manifestation, I think like you can want it, but you have to leap at those opportunities when they're presented in front of you, because they're not just gonna be like, hey, here you go. Now you got your thing. You have to see it, be like, oh, this could be the next step of what I'm looking for. I have to be the one to take that action. I have to take that initiative. Yeah. So it was like crazy, and like all within like maybe the past 2 weeks, bro. Yeah. Like really thinking about it hard.
That's super dope, man. I'm so happy you reached out, man. You're doing great so far. Like in this conversation and engaging and everything. Like you're doing fantastic. We are looking for a male to relieve Earl. Earl is our other host for Song Lab. He actually does this job, what I'm doing here. This isn't my natural space.
Oh, so
I'm mostly behind the scenes.
Okay.
I'm a behind the scenes person.
Yeah.
But I do fill in, and I do need to get better and make myself uncomfortable to learn these things.
Yeah, you're killing it as well, bro. You're putting in work.
I'm doing all right. I feel like I'm talking a bit much for the person that's hosting.
I don't know. I've always found it where I feel like there's no reason we can't learn just as much about the host that we do about the person that's on. And like it is a conversation, right? I don't want the conversation to just be driven by the person that's here, because it's like, damn, let me get some input in. Unless you're like Joe Rogan and you just talk, and that other person can't get anything in. You're like, damn. But no, bro, I think you're talking perfect. You're killing it.
Dope. Thanks, man. My confidence is shot up right
there
here.
we
go. So if someone wants to go listen to your music, where would they go to find you?
So we are on all streaming platforms. You can get me on YouTube, Tidal, Spotify. RobLucci.com, the most streamlined way to find it. Just RobLucci.com. You can find all my videos for myself, videos I've directed, projects, singles, all that. That's the best, most streamlined way to find anything I have out.
Dude, so hold up, man. You're a videographer and an artist?
Yeah.
Man, this is crazy. It was like, I was like, man, I wish there was someone else out there in universe that had these skills.
See what I'm saying? Manifestation, bro. Manifestation is happening. Full circle.
Yeah. No, that's so dope, man. And then you hit me up like, hey, man, I'm trying to tap in with you guys. See what you guys got going. So I'm like, cool, pull up. And then you come here and you're like, hey, this is all I know how to do. And you're like, I'm like, oh shit, man, that's dope. Jeez, this is what we're looking for.
And everything I try to do, I try to like do it, present. I think here's what I think makes, I don't know why I got like real serious. Let me look at real serious for a second. I don't know if we could do like a slow zoom, but if not, it's okay. But I feel like a lot of people put out work and they want their fan base to watch them grow and polish it. I love that method. It's amazing. However, starting off, when you're showing that to people who aren't your friends, who aren't your family, and it's not polished, they'll be like, this is ass.
Yeah.
Or they'll lie to you and be like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
My thing is, I didn't put out shit until I felt like at that time it was as polished as I can make it. That's with music, videography, anything. So now I'm at a point where I could like kind of be like a little cocky with it. Yeah. I could be like, yeah, I'm a director. Yeah, I'm a rapper. I'm a producer. I can do that because I think I got it to a point where it's polished.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's like a difference between a lot of up and coming artists. They want to have their fans go on that journey, and I don't. Not knocking. It's not always bad. You know, it's fun to build that trust, right, with your fan base. But it's a double-edged sword. You got to be able to take that feedback. You know, of like, hey, this was cheeks, bro.
Criticism out here, man, it's different. People get emotional. Also, the market is so small out here.
Yeah.
That if you start hating on another artist, it's like there's only but a handful of artists that are actually putting in the investment effort to put out like a music video or to invest in the recording time and put out a complete project that has even a storyline to it.
Yeah.
And for some of us to hate on it is crazy, or even to discourage that person. Like when I hear about artists that make music that's not my taste, I just encourage them to keep going.
Yeah.
Because you just never know what's gonna hit, what's gonna be someone else's jam, and there's so much like niche music these days.
So much, bro.
Like your market can almost be created by you of whatever sound you're trying to make.
Yeah.
Like just keep making sounds like that, and someone's gonna be like, "That's my shit," and you can pull Data and Tor over there.
Yeah.
Where everyone's fucking.
And that's the crucial thing. But I think the thing that a lot of people have to be open with, and this is where, like, at least back home, like even here, I ran into it a couple of times. You get perceived as an asshole for holding someone to a higher standard. I find musically, if someone's coming to you for feedback, right, they should be going to you with the expectation that they might not get praise. They might get notes, and they have to be able to take those notes. And I feel like a lot of people with their art, especially when they're reaching out for feedback specifically, don't want to take those notes. And you don't have to take them, but you have to be able to take it like on the chin. You have to be able to be open-minded to it. And I feel like a lot of people misconstrued notes or feedback for like hating.
Yeah.
Like when you were saying like hating on a project or whatever, I feel like that gets misconstrued as hating. It's like having an opinion nowadays is like, oh, you're a hater, bro. And it's like, you want to see me lose. And it's like, no, bro. I'm giving you notes because I want to see you do better. I know you can do better.
Yeah. Facts, bro. I think if it's constructive criticism, then yeah.
Yeah.
Like say, hey, we can improve in these areas. But if like it's on some that shit sucks,
yeah, that's not helping anybody. Like, that's hating for sure.
Like hating for sure.
That's like, oh, bro, yeah. I think as long as you can be like, here's my opinion, here's why. I feel like they have to take that. They have to. Yeah, you're putting it out.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. I think it's part of artist development, right? Yeah. Helping them get thicker skin, and not be so sensitive about people's opinions of their work. So I as an artist had to do that. As a business person, I've had to do that.
And that's why I think it's so dope that you're both, because like you understand. I can only assume that at the end of the day, the music business is a business. You create art, but your art has to be marketable. Your art has to be able to be pushed. So if you aren't making marketable, pushable art, that's not a problem, but you need to learn how to. You need to learn how to incorporate those things, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah.
And that's why, like for me, like I'm a big person on getting feedback before I drop. I'll hit up like 100 people before I drop anything. Like, hey, is this good? Do you like this? Why not? Why? And try to hit up people who have no like attachment to me, because there's no bias. So if the average person is like, this song sucks, I'm like, for sure, we're going to keep that in the vault. But if the average person is like, oh, yeah, this is good, I'm like, all right, for sure. For sure. You have to be able to let your babies, like, let them go, you know? You have to be able to detach yourself from them.
Facts.
Sometimes it's not it.
Facts.
Yeah.
And really at this point in the game, man, it's just like, you got to make so much content and continue to make content that you're going to forget about the content you made.
Yeah.
And just have so many songs you've done, so many podcasts, so many videos that you've made. You know, that's what I think. Like, I think artists like maybe like Kendrick Lamar and TDE, that Camp, Interscope, Dr. Dre. Like, actually, I know they make a lot of music.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they'll make 100 songs and then pick like 10 of those songs out of the project. So when you're in the habit of creating like that, then you're going to pull out some really shiny gems.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have less of the people that are hating on it. But even so, I think for me, there's been songs where I liked regardless of what anyone else has said about it.
Facts.
You know?
Facts. At the end of the day, it is your art. Yeah.
Like, I fuck with this. I'm gonna knock this shit. That's dope, man. Yes, what we're based on here is like collaboration. Like, we're trying to teach and emphasize collaboration over competition. So changing the mentality of people kind of going at each other to get to the top, instead of that, like working together and then getting to the top. And I feel like talent will float, skill sets will float. People that have certain abilities, whatever your goal is, or where you want to get to, is if you're consistent and you're diligent in that, I think you can get there to some type of 100%. Level. And I'm also trying to show artists like that level for a lot of us should just be to support ourselves with our art. Just self-sustaining.
Yeah.
So if you want to not work or work, you can. And your vocation, what you choose to do to develop as like a skill or a profession, is feeding your passion.
Yeah.
That way you're not doing a job that you don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, including me, we've all worked jobs we didn't give a fuck about and just had to do it for a check. And I think that lowers the vibration in general. And if we get more people that are like, hey, what am I good at? What am I naturally inclined to do? What resonates with me? And put a pipeline in place for them to do that shit.
Yeah.
Because you may not do some shit forever, but at least you go try it. I think it'll raise the vibration of our community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the collaboration aspect is essentially the most important. Especially back home, and that's why like I kind of had to leave, is because it was that crab in the barrel mentality. It was like, if I'm not gonna be the one to make it, nobody's gonna make it.
Yeah.
And my example I always watched was, I literally watched Lil TJ, Pop Smoke, Fabio Foreign, all those New York guys blow up at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And they're popping up in one of those music videos. They're doing features with each other. They're collaborating. Because when you build a community, everyone thrives and wants to see those people rise up.
Yes.
But if you can't build that community, there's not gonna be any support. right? One person can only bring so many people together. But if so many people are together already, more and more people will flock to it because now they're bringing people, they're bringing people. And like people just can't wrap their head around that. Because if one of us eats and we're already been collaborating, all of us are going to eat. Because I popped up in your video. Oh, shoot, that guy saw me. Cool, let me go check out his stuff. Oh, cool, I checked out his stuff. I'm going to go check out his stuff. Like it ping pongs off of each other. And then, you know, like, I don't know what the word, exponentially grows.
Yeah, no, exponentially is a fantastic word.
Yeah.
That word is dead.
Yeah, but it's wild that like so many artists are like, if it's not me, it's nobody. Blows my mind.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty unfortunate. But it's also like a challenge and something that I feel like we can you know, it's not my goal to like change everyone, but I do want to find people that maybe think like me or think similar like me in regards to music. You don't have to think like me in other shit, but as far as like the music business, I'm trying to find more like-minded people. Because I feel like that community is going to create a synergy that's going to help something explode.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, you know, we're all just a couple of relationships away from forming Voltron, creating like a super robot, right? Because we all have different skills that we do and complement each other in different ways to have a functioning symbiotic thing here. What I want to do now is have you shout out your social medias again.
Okay.
Where people can find you. Any projects you're working on right now. What's going on with you? And then what's your experience has been like here so far?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay, cool.
So you can find me on Instagram at Lort Lightskin. Has nothing to do
Lort
with
Lightskin?
Lort Lightskin. Long story behind the name. But as an artist, you can find me at roblucci.com. Exactly how it spells, ROBLUCCI.com. That's where all my music for current projects out. I just dropped a nice brunch album. It's the best way to describe it. You can get you and your homegirls get ready to go out. That album is out. It's called Kiss and Tell. You can find that on the website as well or on my Instagram. And yeah, in terms of projects, that's what I have out. Music videos on the way, deluxe on the way. It's going to be going up from here for the rest of the year for sure.